All right, welcome everybody. So, I talk a lot about the greatest moments in my life have been spontaneous, man, and they just happen, and I have very little to do with any of them, and that life is serendipitous, and it is a beautiful accident, and control is an illusion, and I just wing it, and I wing it with intention, and how I trust my intuition, and intuition means inner intuition, education, inner knowing, inner knowledge, and just how you know when things are going right, and then I don't have to force anything or to push myself, or all of those things are just concepts that I construct in my mind, and I still battle them all the time, man. I still battle them all the time, and I don't think we ever really escape that, that conditioned response. We do the best we can to identify them and let go of them, and that life isn't about learning anything. It's about unlearning and relying on, that inner voice and that inner knowing and that inner knowledge to just guide us and let us know we're in the right spot, and that we identify the coincidences in life or the synchronicities, and we just, those kind of tell you, like, if you're on the right track, and they're always there. They never wane or wander. What wanes is our awareness to them, but the beautiful magical moments are always around us, and if you're in tune or connected or conscious of them, then you see more of them. And I don't see them all, but I see a whole hell of a lot more than I used to see, and man, I've been seeing them lately, and they just beautifully, magically, stars align, and the waters part, man, and I safely walk through untouched and unharmed, and just get to celebrate them, man, with the people that are around me, and I want to share a couple of those with you. And so if you've been watching my videos, it's no secret that it's been a rough, like, 10 days or 2 weeks or so, and when I say rough, I'm speaking in relation to typical, right? I mean, it's still beautiful, it's still magical, but I've had a little bit of a struggle in being on antibiotics and going through physical discomfort, and tripping and falling and injuring my hand and getting 14 stitches, and just the nauseous feeling, and the incredible heat out here, and the adversity that you have to overcome and go through, and it's been trying, right? And it's clear that my hike has shifted a little bit, and that they weren't bad days, because I don't label them as good or bad, but they were a shift in the experience had happened, and it's probably quite obvious. Everybody at home and people at home are watching this are saying, like, why are you still hiking? Why are you pushing yourself? And I wasn't pushing myself, but I also wasn't enjoying the moments as I usually do, and that's going to happen in life. I mean, there's going to be physical discomfort, there's going to be times when you don't feel as well as you do, and that's why I say, but you could still be content. I wasn't miserable, I was content, but I wasn't necessarily enjoying it either. So and I'm sure that was quite obvious, and I could just tell by the comments. So, but the duality of life, where there's darkness, there's always light, man, and you persevere, and your resilience, and you have no expectations on life, and you just kind of chop wood and carry water, and you get up and you walk, and you hydrate, and you know that with those lulls in life are gonna be washed over with complete joy again, and you just trust in the process. And so I made it to Delaware Water Gap day before yesterday, and I stayed at Detsy's at Wind Gap, and then And then I woke up and hiked over on a hot day in the Delaware Water Gap and stayed at the church. And I got a phone call from my good friends who I've shared several hundred miles with, one of my Tramily members, and Pathfinder and McTwistyflop, who were, a good 70 or 80 miles ahead of us, and they were just getting ready to walk into New York when we were walking into New Jersey. And early on when we first met back in Irwin, Tennessee, we met actually right out of the Smokies, but we really started hiking together consistently when sometime in Irwin, right around Irwin, and they danced with me as backup dancers to when I wandered off a Big Butt Mountain with Miss Janet, to the Dirty Heads song Vacation, and we had this long conversation when I was trying to pick a song about the Dirty Heads, and that was the last concert I went to, and they loved the Dirty Heads, and it's just funny how the universe comes together. And they call me and they say, hey, we're in New Jersey, we're getting ready to stop in New York, and I'm like, oh, we'll be in New Jersey tomorrow morning. And they said, well, the Dirty Heads are playing in Bridgeport, Connecticut, do you want to go? And they will come back. They rented a car to come back and pick me and Thrive up, bring us up to Bridgeport, Connecticut. We're actually in Milford, Connecticut right now, which is another just synchronicity of life, an amazing story. And but we'll come up, we'll pick you up, we'll stay in Connecticut, we'll go to the concert, and then I'll drive you back on Friday, and I'll drop up the car, and we'll hike on from our locations. I'll start in Jersey, they'll start in New York. And I absolutely said yes. Of course I said yes. And 'cause I miss them so much, man. And I've been, for the most part, Tramily-less for a little while. And Papa Smurf went home, and Pathfinder, McTwistyflop hiked on a little bit. They're under a little more time schedule than I am. And then they bicycled to Shenandoah's, which took them 3 days, and they enjoyed it, but that put a little more distance between us. And so it's really good to reunite with them. Right now I'm in Connecticut, Bridgeport. I'm actually in Milford, Connecticut, and which is magical in itself. One of my close friends and her family are in Sebastian, Florida, are from Milford, Connecticut. Stacy and her dad, Vinny, and her mom, Sue. They're from here originally, and I have a sister and a daughter named Sharon, who unfortunately passed away. I think it's been like 2 years now. I'm not exactly sure the time frame, but I told them I was in Milford, and I sent them a message just because there's a tie to Milford, Connecticut, man, and which is magical in itself. Like, I didn't pick these spots, man. And Stacy tells me how her sister has a tree that was planted and dedicated to her in the center of town, and I went there and I paid my respects to Sharon and her family, and because Stacy and Vinny and Sue, like, they're such kind and good people, and I felt like I was here, and I was supposed to be here for a reason. If I could bring them any comfort in knowing that they mean something to me, and that I feel their pain, and that was one of the best things about the trail, is the empathy you have for other people, and and to be able to share that, and it's just magical, man. So I didn't think it was a coincidence that I was here in their hometown, and I hope I brought them a little sense of love from the Appalachian Trail, man. So we're here, and just the laughter and the good times, and a lot of that has been, gone lately. And as I said, the trail's kind of become a grind, and that's just life, like grinding and trudging sometimes. And we've had some long conversations today how much they miss hiking with me, and that they haven't connected with a lot of people since then. And there's kind people out here everywhere, but there's just been a void. And I shared my feelings the same, they're mutual, and how much they love New Jersey, and Such great people, man. If they're willing to jump back and redo New Jersey to hike with us, and that touched my heart so much, man. They love New Jersey and they don't mind doing it again, and it's 4 days, and the 3 days for the concert, it puts them back about a week, but they have an engagement in Florida on October 1st, so they're hoping to finish the trail by mid-September, and so they can get their stuff in order to make it to Florida for another, you know, long engagement with the Warrior Expedition, and because they're out here with the Warrior Expedition, and their willingness to jump back and redo New Jersey to hike with me and with Thrive, and touched me so much. And I miss them so much too, and you could just feel the chemistry between us, and the hike is beautiful on its own, absolutely by yourself. It's magical, but it is enhanced tremendously when you build lifelong friendships and connections with them, and they are my brother and sister, and they're willing to sacrifice to come back and redo a section of the trail that they thoroughly enjoyed. And I've gotten so many messages about how New Jersey is just like one of the favorite parts of the people that have hiked this before, and that I'm going to jump up to New York because I'm not on a time crunch and they are, and I'm going to make the sacrifice and come up and hike from New York with them, and I'll come back and do New Jersey, and I absolutely 100% will come back and do New Jersey whenever I finish, whenever I'm done with this hike, because I feel like I'm supposed to, man. Not because anybody wants me to, because I feel like I'm supposed to, man. We discussed so many options, them coming back to do New Jersey, me, us flip-flopping to Maine and walking south, even though none of us wanted to flip. None of us wanted to flip-flop, but that way it doesn't inconvenience anybody, and they can get off when they get to New York, and I can finish New Jersey, but none of us wanted to flip-flop. But you know what else none of us wanted to do? None of us wanted to not hike with a Tramily together again. And so the bottom of the list was hiking our own hike and staying where we were at, but just above that was flip-flopping, where nobody was inconvenienced at all, and we decided that I will make the sacrifice, and me and Thrive will make that sacrifice and jump up to New York, and then we would just come back and redo New Jersey when we're done. And that'll be a great self-reflective 3 or 4 day hike after if I'm blessed enough to conquer the monster and the whites, and it puts no extra pressure on them to be done by September 15th, and it's not even a question in my mind. So how everything just lined up beautifully, and how they've missed me as much as I've missed them, and if that isn't enough reason, today I get a call from Papa Smurf, who's been home, and he had some personal reasons he had to go home, and you know, we love him to death, and I haven't heard from him in a couple of weeks or so, and he just magically calls today and says he loves me and he misses me, and he's getting back on trail this week, and he will meet me wherever I'm at. And I tell him I'm with Pathfinder and McTwistyflop, and I'm thinking about jumping up to New York, and we would love to have him come back and hike with us, and whatever it takes to get somebody back on trail, and that just compounded it, and he's supposed to come up and meet us on Saturday and finish what he started, man. And he's got some gaps to make up eventually, but he's a Virginia boy, and won't be difficult for him to do that. And I'm eager to get Papa Smurf back, so the gang is all going to be back together, and just beautiful how it all unfolds, and I have no regrets in my decision at this point. And I'm sorry, New Jersey, but I do love you, and everything I've heard was like, It is a magical state, and coming out of Pennsylvania, and it really snuck up on people on how much they absolutely loved it. And even my friends Pathfinder and his wife, McTwistyflop, highly encouraged that I do it. Early riser said it was one of his favorite states, and I love and respect those people so much, man. So I am coming back to do New Jersey, but for now, I'm gonna go enjoy a concert tonight in Bridgeport, Connecticut with my friends and my family. Tomorrow, gotta go back down to Pennsylvania to pick up a new backpack from Osprey because my other backpack was falling apart, and they've sent another one to an outfitter there for me, and I'm gonna exchange them out. And thank you Osprey. Means a lot to me, man, that you guys honor your warranties and stuff. And but that isn't even the fun stuff, man. I have some more fun stuff to share with you guys, and because I found an accessory, I am going ultra light for the rest of the way. And when I say ultra light, I think my base weight is well under 9 pounds, and even with water, it might be around 10 or 11 pounds. Water and food, maybe around 12 pounds. I don't know. I can pick it up with a finger. And stick around because I want to share that with you too. So, because that is even a more beautiful, like, synchronicity and just yeah, I'm excited again for the second half, for the last 900 miles of this hike, and I'm looking forward to more magical moments and recreating more memories. But right now, I'm gonna go spend time with my friends and go watch an outstanding concert tonight and laugh with my Tramily. Love you guys.